Hey peeps, I'm NeoZeoHenshin's, and behold, my top video games. That's right, I'll be presenting you my game collection. Well, that's the first thing I'm about to be doing. I'm going to present to you what games I actually have in my possession. I know there's some upcoming games later in the year, especially in December and February, that's for sure. And let's get started with this lot. Okay, first things first we got is Apocalypse, the Bruce Willis game. I thought it'd be like sort of hidden ending to it, but sadly isn't. But it's a great shoot 'em up game for it. Spawn, the beat 'em up game. That's the inspiration to the comics. Jet Set Radio. I only played a little bit of the second game, but I definitely did play that. I think I got it downloadable on my my Vita. Unit 13. Rival Schools. I remember playing it on the PS1, and I haven't got it, but I got this of the sequel on the Dreamcast. And I remember in the first game you can actually play like some mini games. It's like you can play baseball, volleyball, football, that sort of thing, and yeah, it's actually a really enjoyable game. It's actually a rather it's funny because even Sakura from Street Fighter making an appearance. Well, the thing it is Capcom. Yeah, it's a really underrated game, that is. Of course, Skyrim. Of course, I don't know whether or not the next game will be like, but yeah, definitely worth a game play. That if you like the whole fight dragons like I do, and of course Dead Rising. And although I played the first game on the Xbox, which I sadly unable to get it, but how I heard rumours that you can actually play the first, the second, and the one with Frank Castle. Not Frank Castle, I think that's his name. I might be correction, but here's the correction. But that should be playable on the PS4, which I'll show because I want to play the third game, and that sucks because of the fourth game is on the Xbox One exclusive. That sucks. Another underrated game, Way of the Samurai 2. Interesting path, and you got like different stories and combats and that sort of thing. I've only played like the third game of it, and it's like, nah, forget it. Of course, South Park, fan of South Park, can't wait for Fractured But Whole. You can play superheroes, and of course, I'm a kid from the 80s and 90s, of course I had Transformers, classic shoot 'em up, and oh yes, these two, interesting, I like racing, but this one's interesting because you can control your cars and destroy and other opponents, and this one is like proper cars with Mario Kart style attacks sort of thing. Let Me Shoot Larry, great laugh and certain secrets.
And now for something completely different.
Of course, Jackass on the PS2. Great if you play multiplayer. Remember that time we played at a few games of this at the apartments at Expo at one point. Arnett and Laura, Bruce, Amy, you know that you guys are watching this. You know we played like some games, and we played like the Booster Rankin, the Japanese imports game, and that was oh man, I miss playing that with everyone, with the group, and it's like we were stuck in that 16 people in that one apartment, and that's brilliant. Of course, Star Wars. I think you can play this on the PS4 now. Interesting. It's a shame because that's not like in canon. And of course, Deadpool. And yes, I got my signed autograph from Northern North. It's Deadpool. It's funny because what's the other Spider-Man game I have? Oh, here. Yeah, it's like here for example. He does the voice of Deadpool on here as well for Northern North, but somehow that one has a little more higher pitch to this one. And I think his version, this one is much more better. Interesting Spider-Man game. Give that a try, especially the fourth. And of course, I like the your world is your oyster, and you can make a destruction world, that sort of thing. Shame, I only played the first game, but it's a real shame because apparently we did good RPGs, but now sadly they've been defunct. Asura's Wrath. If you like good old anime action, and of course I got my signature from Liam O'Brien, who does the voice of Asura. Man, his voice would be absolutely sore from that. Of course, as you guys know, Liam Bryan, who does the voice of Gara and many other voice roles. Stranglehold, which I know you play single player, which is a real shame, and of course Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. I'm currently playing the second game, as some of you might have seen on my let's call it Cosbulux. I actually completed the pre-sequel. Now I need to do fully of the second one of that, and of course Overwatch. Hopefully, be playing it tonight if I actually contact a few mates of mine, especially you on it and other people, and one certain person hopefully play with. Another game I like to. The single player is enjoyable, but especially the second game wasn't that great. But this one, it's really awesome. It's like, of course, it's Battlefield, and of course you play on tanks and helicopters and jets. Well, very small, but really good game. I need to play that again actually, and of course Red Dead Redemption, and I can't wait for the second game of that comes out. But oh man, the amount of times I'm trying to get that one particular skin from this one, and I still need to do full complete of that, especially the zombie game of that one. And another, it's like just like Mercenaries, Just Cause. I used to got Just Cause 2, but I've already completed it, and now I've got the task of doing this one. And now we're sort of heading towards the top lists lot now. Okay, what we got here? Yes, this lot. We have the Puppeteer. It's all rhyming like Dynamite Heady, and got a similar sort of work stage play, that sort of thing, and interesting. And still need to play co-op on this one, but yeah, if you like stage work and break fourth wall, give that a watch. Let's see, Onimusha, yes, Onimusha. I really like these, except for the fourth one. I could not complete it, but this was an enjoyable thing. I think I heard. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned it in my video because of course I heard it from Alpha Omega Sin that there's going to be a conclusion to this, whether or not the actual actor will make an appearance again. So hopefully we'll see that. And of course the Resi Evil collection, and sadly so I stopped up to 6, but although I'm not sure about what's about to do about 7. Let's see. Of course we've got the first Director's Cut one. The second game, of course, you play both Leon and Claire. And the third game, of course, you play Jill, play Nemesis chasing down your ass. This one, I got a return of a certain character, and of course, my inspiration for my first cosplay, from Leon Kennedy, sort of thing, here, and that's a real game changer. And it really sucks because from that fourth, that's when the sixth, no, the fifth and the sixth games was like downhill from there. Let's see, another underrated game, Typhoon from PS1, and the thing is that I'm going to be very bluntly about it. The end of the story is anticlimactic. It's just like, do you beat the last boss? Okay, everything's training. Leave. At the end, it's like, oh, okay, that's a waste of time. But no, it's really awesome if you like martial arts, and you can actually learn like different styles. You can learn like monkey, crane, leopard, that sort of thing. You use those sort of abilities for navigate through the map sort of thing, so that's really interesting. And of course, you saw in one of my updates, Metal Gear. I'm going to bring the whole thing, don't worry about it. First game, that's what got me started on the bandwagon. And of course the special missions, I still need to do some of the missions on that. The second game, it wasn't that great, but I know majority of people get pissed off about the whole Raiden sort of thing. And of course I got my signature from Quentin Flynn, voice of Raiden. And of course the third game of this was a good game, but I need to get used of the camouflage. I got most of the time get caught from them. Really good game. The fourth game I haven't got because I don't like that game that much. It's very lack of stealth. This one, now also we know the whole backstory about this issue of this game, and especially its company, especially its recent trailer of Metal Gear Survive, and boy, that's very rough. But it's not that bad. But I understand that the last lot of missions just like sort of disconnect and lost it, and that's a shame. And Uncharted, all 4 of them. I don't know which one to say the best one. I think the best one was the second one. The third one wasn't that great, and the fourth one is it's almost suffers the same effect what it did for this one, because I don't know, there's some sort of story structure issues for this one, and This one is a bit long with its cutscenes, because yeah, so it's glorious and go out with a bang. But of course, that's funny, because I do like these more than Tomb Raider, and that's a bit blasphemous, really. Which at this point I still need to play the new Tomb Raider game. Let's see. Funny enough, I haven't played Castlevania, the classic games, but I need to get to play that. I think I played what's it called? Reign of Blood, that PSP exclusive one sort of thing, and I know it's here's the names of those particular ones, because you could sort of unlock those two games in the main game, the original version of the game, and the that's it, Symphony of the Night. I only played a bit of that, but man, I need to get, because it's got that sort of what's it called, that term? Metroidvania, that's it, that sort of style inspiration. But this one is interesting because it's got that tacking and that sort of thing, and oh man, it's just, that's funny, because there's another game that's sort of inspiration to this, and especially it's a mix between it's got some elements of God of War and Shadow of the Colossus, which I'll get to eventually. But funny enough, I like this one more than the second game. I know that a mate of mine's playing the second game, and even she said that she likes it. But sorry, I like this one better, even though the motivation for how it all happened is a bit iffy. I don't know, it's a bit, what? I'm a little bit confused of, but it's very complex. But man, that last boss, that DLC is a bitch to beat, and there's no way I'm doing it on hard, believe me. Gungrave, this another underrated games, but however, like I think I mentioned in my videos, the anime sucks. It's a real shame, because I'm not much of a Trigun fan, because this is done by the same artist, like Nitro, right here, and I like the mechanics, especially like you use like freaking coffins and machine gun, rocket launcher, that sort of thing, and styles. This one you like control like two other people, and they're unique styles. Styles. And the funniest thing is that from the appearances, I definitely like this appearance more, although the hat's more badass. But oh man, it's funny because this one is subbed and this one is dubbed, and it's funny because he's getting Stephen Plumers on this one as well. What else we got? And of course, Prince of Persia, the first three. I haven't played the classic games of them, but although you can play sort of an Easter egg hidden level in the first game of it, playing the classic games, and of course, 1 awesome, 2 not that bad, and the third one is slightly better, but doing the Dark Prince is a bit pain in the backside. Right, what else? Next lot. Of course, as a Batman fan, also you have to get the Arkham Knight games. First game's good. Second game is awesome. Third game is it's good, but I wouldn't say it's great. But it's awesome right in the Batmobile. With that freaking tank, but it's a bit OP. The tank is, but no, I definitely see some issues what people say about it. But man, the voice talents of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, oh, just gorgeous. If you definitely are a fan of the Batman animated series, like I am, for example, you'll definitely be enjoying these. As some of you obviously know from my top 10 greatest movies, of course I got the Lord of the Rings games. Funny enough, I haven't got Fellowship of the Ring, and of course I got the two hack and slash style games. It's like Gauntlet, ironically, and this one, The Third Age, awesome RPG, but the main guy and how he involved with 3 certain villains is a bit far-fetched, I would say. But no, this definitely brings home a good mix of if you're a Final Fantasy fan, and give this a play. I wouldn't say it's like another underrated game, if I might say so. And now this one's the interesting one, Keshin 2. Now this is some of you may notice have certain appearances about 2 of these characters. That's right, these are the 2 characters from well, actually them and the characters from behind. They're actually from Dynasty Warriors, Cao Cao and Liu Bei, I think it was. I don't know who the girl is. That sort of thing. And this game is an interesting one. It's a strategy game, but it's not only you can look from above and you can strategize. You can actually go on the battlefield and actually fight. what will you expect from the later Dynasty Warriors games. But yeah, this is definitely an underrated game. I played a bit of the third game, but although I haven't played the first one yet. Speaking of classic platform games, Jack and Dexter. This is one of my favourite ones. I played a bit of Ratchet and Clank, but I don't know. I think some of the characters really pissed me off. It's like that bloody hero guy, and it's like that very arrogant dude. But yeah, Jack and Dexter, awesome. There is a lot of humour. Some very risque jokes, especially for Dexter and one certain lady in from this one, and yeah, this one's really good. Yeah, this one's awesome. This is, and you can run around the desert, that sort of thing. And of course, my love of Twisted Metal comes to this version. But the what's that name? That Sky one. That Sky game is crap. I think I botched it up when I was up against that last boss. It's like I got the wrong plane and I completely botched it up. I muffed it. Ugh. And since I got my interest of Resident Evil, but also I'm a fan of Silent Hill. Yes, I've got the first game, The Origins. Of course, I cosplay Travis from it, and the second game. People really like this game, but for me, I know it's very deep and dark sort of thing, but that's more complex from the series. Of course, the third one plays Heather, and from those games, I'm lucky enough, I played I fully completed Homecoming. It was not that good, and funny enough, I haven't played the new the one after that. I know, judging from no, because I remember Linkara said that what Phalas said about the Homecoming, the team who made Homecoming onwards, they had no clue about it and they botched it up. But this is like the classic one. This is like Team Silent working on it, the actual proper people. But from all those games, I definitely like this one, the fourth game, and especially I know it's definitely different from the previous ones. But the one thing I like about it is the awkwardness of the villain, how I don't want to get into his backstory, but man, that it's messed up and awesome. And then ironically, even the final battle, depending on which how you do the thing, is like you will see a certain device from a certain film. Keep a lookout if you actually manage to survive and pull it off. But yeah, that's definitely an awesome one. And now for the last 15. I don't know if I actually would count the counter, but I think here will be basically my top 15 games. That's fine. Why I got this one, because it's relevant for this one, Devil May Cry. I freaking love Devil May Cry, except for the second game. That can go rotten hell, because very boring, bland, and not actionary. But of course, awesome game that the first one is, even though I can't complete it on hard. I always said the second game wasn't the greatest, but this makes up for it. Devil May Cry 3 is freaking awesome. It makes up for all those mistakes it did in the second game. And the action, gorgeous action. You know what I said on my guilty pleasures of the film Versus? I think the action choreographer from that one does this, and you see why. And it is awesome action, best action in video game ever. And of course the fourth game, and yes, I have Johnny on Bosch and the guy who it's funny because he doesn't do the voice, but he does the motion capture. I've forgotten his name. What's his name? He's the bloody Quantum Ranger on Power Rangers. That dude, he does motion capture from this one. But yeah, really awesome. And oh yeah, I've forgotten that's also Stephanie Seth does Kyle that name. So yes, that's funny because it hasn't got like trophy capability. Also, you can get it on the list, but you obviously can't get it popped up because it's not that updated. And of course, I brought up Bayonetta because it's done by the same people who did Resident Evil, and it's really enjoyable. And oh man, the weapons and action, and of course it's the whole good versus evil sort of thing. And you got like a badass chick who's fighting creatures from both heaven and hell. I wouldn't say actually heaven and hell because even the creatures from heaven looks like absolutely terrifying. So awesome. What else we got? Oh yes, I'm not a Grand Theft Auto fan, But Saints Row is definitely my favourite. I played the first game and that's funny actually because the first game and the third game I do not like, but I hope I get this right, the even ones, 2 and 4 is better. This is a lot more it's got much more humour, but it's got actually good serious moments from this one. And this one is just, that's funny because on the third game it goes over the top. This one brought down the sort of humour, but it keeps it restricted. But it's enjoyable, and of course you got the dubstep gun, which is awesome. This is an underrated game. Dark Watch. Oh man, that's funny because High Noon Studios. Sorry, this is it's done by the same people who did the Deadpool one, and this one is definitely an underrated game. You obviously play like a vampire, and oh man, this is really good. And it's a real shame it hasn't got a sequel to it because it's also you can actually judge from if you could do good things and bad, and it do have consequences, especially the final boss sort of thing. And oh man, awesome game this is. Now we're getting somewhere much more. Of course, Shadow Colossus, awesome. Just I know it's you had to admire the scenery and of course the variety of Colossus or Colossi, I don't know if it is, but oh man, even I had to agree with Jacksepticeye, and it's like I wanted the figures of each of the Colossus or Colossi again, and oh man, that'd be so awesome to have these ones. Although I can't do the hidden tower climb because I don't know, you had to sort of have a lot of stamina, and some people actually manage to get to that garden from above that tower thing, and I can't do it to this day. Another underrated game, God Hand. Now this is anime over the topness, and I'm swearing it's. Oh yes, it says right here. It says the from the makers of Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and Beautiful Joe. And this one is like over the top, and it's really difficult to get the hang of it first of all. But once you start to get the flow of it, because also you can actually create your own moves to fight, and it has the ups and downs sort of thing. And of course, it's got gambling, and oh man, it's enjoyable. If you like over the topness, give that a shot. And of course, we cannot forget about Crazy Taxi, a really good pastime if you have like nothing else to do. I played the first one, and of course there's the second game, and then of course you can get both the first game and the second game on the PSP, PS Vita. So I haven't played the third game on the Xbox, but yeah, and you've got some wicked action sort of thing, racing, and oh, this is awesome. Power Stone. Oh, this is just one of the best fighting games, and it's a real shame actually because this one is like the classic arcade style fighting. This one is like the much more party thing, but the thing is that you can actually get more weapons. Problem is that you can't do like some of the stuff you want. You can't pull off like combos in this one, but you don't do like minimum ones. I think this is also an arcade one, but this is like designed for much more the party. But you can actually craft weapons, and oh man, it's brilliant, awesome, love it. And speaking of fighting games, a really now sadly defunct group and series, Bloody Raw. Oh man, Bloody Raw! The fact you can actually be fighters and actually transform into creatures from dragons to tigers to cockatoo bugs, and love it. And a real shame because Hudson's known for did the Bomberman series, and that's real shame. But yes, if you like fighting and animals, give that. It's worth it. And now, you know what I said about on Blur and what was it? Burnout. So about Rest and Demolition. This is what I love the most. Twisted freaking Metal. I love. This is my favourite Racing Demolition, and one that started off was the second game. I think I played the first game for a little bit, but I haven't got used to it. But man, the amount of times me and my brother play this game, especially the Paris stage when like we had to blow up the Eiffel Tower, a game of chicken sort of thing, and oh man, this is awesome. And then we got the one on the PS2, which is much more better and awesome. It's darker, ironically, and funny enough, the European version had to be cut certain scenes, especially the characters' intros and outros sort of thing. But you could probably see it on YouTube, or if you well not you actually got the North American release of this. But this is awesome. You can get it on PS3 and PS4 now, if I know rightly. And of course I get to get it on the PSP. And of course one game I still need to play, both from Twisted Metal itself, but I still need to play multiplayer in this. Hopefully I will get to it eventually, but man, there's so many games I have to play. Kind of think about it, I might give that a play after I'm done with Borderlands. And now for Bioshock. I love Bioshock. That's funny because I do cosplay Booker. Sorry, excuse me, it's just I've been drinking. Booker DeWitt from I cosplay him, and I especially got the Skyhook. But Bioshock, I play it on the Xbox 360. I loved it so much, and lucky, I'm proud they actually do release. And it's funny because there've been news now that it's going to be a collection of both 1, 2, and this, I think it is. And it's so awesome. The claustrophobic underwater and the 1950s style sort of thing. And it's so awesome. Okay, but the second game wasn't that great, but man, the Infinite, Bioshock Infinite is awesome. And yes, I got my autograph from Troy Baker, nice, and the characters of Elizabeth, oh man, she was just, it's just awesome. The actress who does the voice, and just awesome. I just love the mechanics, that sort of thing, and oh man, I remember that one scene in that game when you were in that parade, and suddenly that guy said something, and it was like, what? Because I know you also could be shooting and whatnot, but he said that, and then suddenly you see two of these people come out, like, oh crap! And then of course, when I got the ball, I said, I want to throw at the dude. I'm not going to throw at them at the couple. No, sod that. Oh man, yeah, it's like wow, and when suddenly when you do the trick, it's like you get the Skyhook, and it's like wow, and then shit just got real, and it's like man, and the story and I know there's some parts of the story is a bit very confusing, but man, you might have I think you might have to look for stuff on YouTube and see the explanation of how this what makes sense of the story, that sort of thing. But that's funny because even the first words, and I think even the text from behind here spoils it, so just be pre-warned about that. I love JRPG games, but this one, also you can get this on the PS4 now. Rogue Galaxy is one of the most awesome RPG games I've ever played. Yes, there is things we'll get to eventually, but man, this one, you've got space travel, you can actually jump on opponents just for weakness. It's like, I think you could do certain action, and then you could like sort of flip the enemy, and you sort of like bouncing on enemies to... Oh man, I love this game. I want more of this, but I don't know if the company is still doing the works now, but space travel and well-known voice actors, and oh yeah, I've got Yuri Alone. I still need to get Stephen Plume to get this signed. Oh man, this is awesome. And speaking of the same that same company, another company done the same thing. It's Dark Chronicles. This is another awesome JRPG game. You can have the opportunity to create a village, but creating these towns is vital for what it might affect in the future, sort of thing. And the thing is that this game is unique because it's got an armor. No, it's not armor. You got a melee and a gun break system. Because if they will break, and you also have to hold arm, and that of course is a bit more tricky, make it much more challenging, I would say. Oh yeah, this is an awesome, another underrated game, and obviously another one that's on the PS4 you can get. And the funniest thing is, I played the first game because this is basically Dark Cloud 2. But I don't know why they call it Dark Chronicles, because maybe they're trying to disconnect itself from the first game. And the funniest thing is that even the person from the first game he's a secret boss in this one. So if you actually grind and make your way to it. Now this, blood will tell. Yet another underrated game. This is awesome. It's based on the granddaddy of anime, a very short-lived one called Dororo. And the thing is that I think, judging from the history, there was a black and white anime of it, but sadly to his passing, it never seen the bright of day. But now, years later, we have got a game, and a much more completion game of it, and it's awesome. You play this guy. He's got like literally like katanas out of his arms, and he's got machine guns and the cannon from his leg, and the fact you like all these fiends. I forgot how many fiends was it, like 48 fiends, wasn't it? Yeah, and then you take down 48 fiends, and each fiend obtains a body part to the hero. It's like an eye or teeth and nerves, that sort of thing, and oh man. And the end boss is just, wow, the true end boss is one heck of a challenge and great accomplishment to beat. So yeah, love this game. I definitely want to give this a try. If I ever do a gameplay of it, playthrough, whatever it is, if I actually manage to get myself a recording, I'll definitely present this, that's for sure. I feel so guilty about this. This was almost came to my first plot. A game you may see from on the GameCube as well. Skies of Arcadia. Wow. I mean, wow. I just love it. You fly on ships in the sky, and you can do freaking dog battles. Well, I don't know, like galleon battles. Like you can use your ship to attack other ships, and you can do some like change like elements on the fly, that sort of thing. And the story. Oh man, the story is awesome. It's a real shame because I think I heard rumours there was a sequel to this, but I think that didn't see the bright of day. But wow, this is like, I don't know if it's like based on like the Tales of, I think it's like inspiration to like the Tales of Final Fantasy, that sort of thing. But man, this is just awesome, and you can like create your own base as well. That is awesome. As for the base wise, I made it into like the I don't know what's it called, the that Japanese inspired floating land sort of thing. So I made that into my base, and oh man, I love this game. But however, there is one particular game that actually trumps that game, which is very bad for me to say so. And now for the honorable mentions. So this is like some other games that I have, not like it did the first lot, but this one, some few interesting ones. I am a fan of Danganronpa, and the funniest thing is that the first game, I do not like the characters in the first game. Majority of them are complete dicks. The one thing, however, that I kept this game is that I like the mystery, that sort of thing. And if you're like a fan of say Phoenix Wright, that's worth it. And the game, I prefer the second game better, because actually the majority of the characters I actually do like, except for one character, that bloody Iki dancer, the dancing girl, that little brat. She's a little bitch, she is. But no, just another inspiration to combat. And of course I got the girls. And one thing is I need to get my, I'm not sure what's going to happen to in the next sequel game, the 3V, I don't know which way around it is, but here. But that's out in Japan now, but whether or not that's going to come out to the West, who knows. But of course there's the anime of it, and so far I've seen like the first 3 episodes from both the Future and the Despair arcs. But I don't know how it's going to end, but who knows. And majority of first-person shoot 'em ups, especially on Borderlands, I usually play the sniper because I love doing snipers. Here we got Sniper Elite V2, an interesting World War II game that you can actually like strategize where you'll be based, and there's like if you're one of the Nazis will come and you could like set on like booby traps, like tripwire and a mine, that sort of thing. But the fact that you can actually shoot and see X-ray visions, and you can actually shoot and you could blast the bollocks out of a Nazi. It's like, ooh, and but satisfying. And another underrated game for my honorable mentions is Urban Chaos. No, not many people know about this one, but this is an interesting like first-person shooter sort of thing. But oh man, but yeah, the guy in the back looks like bloody Tony Hawk. What else we have? And not just say for this is like more like the toppers of the honorable mentions for this lot coming up. Of course, I'm talking about the God of War games. Of course, the sequel for the first game, and oh man, the fact that you can actually fight against the gods, well, or mythical Greek creatures, that's awesome. The second game, and then we got the fourth game. I haven't got Ascension because Ascension wasn't that great, and I haven't got Ghost of Sparta. I need to get that on the PS Vita, but and of course this is a bit of a game changer for this one because what's happened. But then we've got the trailer for the fourth game, which is somewhat completely different, but interesting because now that Kratos might be possibly be up against with the Norse gods, and that'd be awesome. See him up against Odin, Loki, Thor, like those type of gods, and that'd be awesome. And speaking of God of War, somewhat vague copy of it, Dante's Inferno. I actually haven't read the book, but the thing is that this one's definitely inspiration to God of War, and it's really interesting. And the design of Dante is pretty awesome, and his sickle, it's pretty badass. It's a real shame actually because the creator says there's no plan for a sequel to it. It's like I want to know more because it left in a cliffhanger. Sucks. Judging from that, actually, you don't hear of that one particular studio anymore. You know, was it San Monica? That family people who did the later God of War games. But this definitely, if definitely like the whole gothic and that sort of thing, play it. And of course, started off my love of RPGs. Of course, it had to be Final Fantasy. Of course, we got 7, the Crisis Core. I still need to get Bummer Heart Shin, that one. We got Dirge of Cerberus, and of course I got Stephen Clue's Autograph, lovely, and Final Fantasy 8. People get so much shit about this. Yes, I know it's tough for follow up from 7, but hey, give it some love, man. Respect. I played a bit 8, but 8 I don't like the chibi appearance. That's my opinion. Sorry guys. I haven't played. Was it 12? I just haven't got the chance to playing that because I think the main guy was a Van. I think his name is. He sort of rubbed me off the wrong way, and I've forgotten sort of about 10. Oh man, the ending of that made me cry, and I of course I had to play the 10 too, and I did not like that game at all. Too much girl power sort of thing. And the only reason I liked about it, the only thing is actually see the actual true ending to it if you actually manage to pull it off. But oh man, that's and I obviously can't wait for Final Fantasy 15. And speaking of before that, of course I think I mentioned in one of the previous videos that I have no love for Final Fantasy 13. I only played it to see if actually some sort of it could sort of change my mind, but nope, it did not change my mind about that series. And oh man, I feel really bad and dirty for fully completed it. Thankfully, I haven't played the sequel games. Thankfully, and of course, like I said, I can't wait for 15. Please don't boss this up for crying out loud. Even though to this day, like I mentioned in my previous videos, I think it was on the Let's Talk Cosplux, the fact that the game has been delayed for another 2 months, and it's 2 months time now, and it's please don't screw it up. You look gorgeous, and like I said in that video, it's like you can't make it gorgeous and end up shitting it. It's just like I said, look at Duke Nukem Forever and how much that's been messed up. That's for sure. In the conclusion of Final Fantasy, of course I got Kingdom Hearts. Of course I enjoyed it so much. Of course I played the ones on the PS2, but of course I get the 2.5 and 1.5 and 2.5 because I definitely like to chance for this one to play up against with the Organisation 13 members, which I still haven't done. and it's it's a bit of a challenge to do. So yeah, so I obviously can't wait for him. Oh, that's fine. I haven't got Birth by Sleep. I think I've got that as a downloadable game if I know rightly. Am I? No, not. It's on here. Silly me. Like I mentioned in my Let's Talk Cold Bollocks videos, like the problems with Final Fantasy 2.8 is on the same time as of course Final Fantasy 15, so that's gonna be a bit of a misdelay. And of course the third game, whether or not that's gonna come out in February or not, or wait till next year, who knows? But that's awesome. And of course space and RPG style gaming, Mass Effect. And of course we got games with the first game, which I played on the Xbox One, which I sadly had to play on my brother's console. Second and third game came afterwards on the PS3. And lucky enough, I actually politely gave the first game onto the PS3, thankfully. But yeah, the game, and of course the confidential ending to Mass Effect, and yeah, and it's, the that extended ending makes up for it, but it still didn't make it up for that one certain shot if you chose the destroyed ending. I don't know what's gonna happen. Say it for the new Astronomer game. I don't know whether or not it's gonna be. Surely it will be the same as this or different. So who knows? And now for my top favorite game of all time. It's a JRPG game. I did not expect. I saw this on a shelf and I wasn't aware of its series, but I think I played one of its series, but it was very bizarre. But this one, oh man, it's a good thing I picked it up, but it is the one, the only, Persona 4. I love this game. The characters are absolutely likable. You actually feel emotion to the actual true ending to it, and oh man, it really hits me home. It's even like when that ending played, the actual true ending, it's like, it felt like I was actually boring, crying. The thing is that's what made it sad for Save the Skies Acadia, because the Persona 4 ending is a lot more heartfelt and much more emotional than this one. But no, it's actually a really good, decent ending to this, and I still love this to choose my soul sort of thing. Damn, I still need to watch Gravity Falls. But yeah, you got like anime and fictional characters and called upon and future sort of thing, and it's good. And of course I love it so much I literally got like if I can actually get nearer to the camera, a sort of autographs. You got Laura Bailey, Yuri Girl, Yuri, his name here, Troy Baker, let's see, Yuri, yeah, Troy Baker, and oh man, I just love this games, and oh man, I still need to get the one thing I definitely need to get the most. Oh my goodness, if I actually would die of happiness if I get an autograph from Wendy Lee, no, Amanda Wynn Lee, sorry, wrong name because I think their names are similar, but if I get an autograph from Amanda Wynn Lee, oh my goodness, because as you know, guys knows, where Amanda Wynn Lee does the voice of Ray, and Ray is just Ray from NeoZeoHenshin's Evangelion, and Ray is one of my favourite ladies, but no, my waffles, no, it's just that's funny because the first time I played it was I fell in love with no, in the game you can obviously date these girls, and you get the emotional sort of thing, because the first time I did Yukiko. Then I've done this. I can't say the name because two of the names sound the same, because there's Nanato and Nanako. Nanako. Yeah, because Nanako is the cousin. You make the protagonist as little cousin. Nanato is I'm not sure which one's my top favourite. Chie, she's awesome. Rise, she's alright, but no, she's really cute. But no, everyone is all likeable, that sort of thing, and oh man, that's the actual true boss, and it's like tension, and it's like that, and that's like, okay, everyone, this is it. And I don't want to spoil it, but just play it. It is Oh, so, if you like Pachiyama, please give it a play. That's funny because I said this to my mates about it. So I was at there's an anime adaptation of these as well. That's like I say if you want the full experience, play this. If you want to see like the quickies, that sort of thing, get a rough idea of it, watch the anime because the anime is actually really funny as well. So that's another one as well. I actually enjoy about these ones is that they actually make me laugh out loud and it's the whole emotional shred. And that's one thing that's a bit tricky in the games is that you got to be very careful on one particular scene because if you do that you're screwed. If you as long as you don't save it after that, so pre-warn that one particular scene. So just be careful. Yeah. Great. Now I got clean this up, and I still got another one. Next video is coming up, which we probably do tomorrow because it's bank holiday. So yeah, that's all my games, and yet there's still more to come in November, December, February, and so forth and so forth. So yeah, thank you much, guys, for seeing my my game collections, and now I'm gonna actually press on with actually playing more games. So yeah, thank you much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!